because of how he was making it look like he'll call out somebody else that's like. But now that I see that I feel as though he's still a clown because that's his personality.
Now, he called out Canelo in the ring. Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down.
More layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy?
During a press conference following his recent fight against Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis shocked fans by naming Jake Paul as his next desired opponent. This surprising call-out has sparked a debate, especially considering Davis had previously dismissed Paul as a potential challenger.
Who were you going to call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here.
Ain't gonna do him.
He came in my locker room.
Shakur Stevenson?
He wasn't in my locker room.
Jake Paul?
Next question.
Jake Paul responded to Gervonta Davis's call-out with a mixture of respect and confidence, acknowledging Davis's abilities and his presence in boxing. In a tweet, Paul wrote, "Gervonta has my respect inside the ring. He comes to fight. One of the top 5 in the world right now. Outside the ring, he is standing on his own and representing America. I would destroy him in the ring, given the size advantage, but I respect what he represents. I'll be tuning in tonight." Paul's response was filled with admiration for Davis's fighting skills and his impact outside of boxing. However, he also made it clear that he believes his size advantage would be overwhelming for Davis in a potential fight. This exchange has sparked even more speculation about a potential matchup between the two. Davis, a dominant force in the lightweight division, would face a serious size disadvantage against Paul, who competes at cruiserweight. Despite this, fans are intrigued by the possibility of the fight, and now the ball is in Davis's court to respond to Paul's comments. Interestingly, Davis's call-out comes after he previously dismissed the idea of ever fighting Jake Paul. In past interviews, Davis laughed off the notion, calling Paul a clown and saying he wouldn't even entertain the idea of fighting him. But now, Davis seems open to the possibility of facing Paul, a shift that has sparked plenty of buzz. Some fans speculate that Davis might be eyeing a big payday, while others believe he wants to shut Paul down once and for all. This new challenge has only added more fuel to their ongoing back and forth, with Paul continuing to look for high-profile fights. Davis's name being thrown into the mix has only increased the intrigue, but there's still the matter of weight. As a lightweight, Davis would give up a significant size advantage to Paul, which raises questions about how the fight would play out. When asked in the past about Jake Paul, Davis was adamant, calling him a clown and expressing no interest in facing him. When asked if he'd ever consider fighting Paul, Davis said, "If your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul, I'd laugh at him. I wouldn't even entertain the thought." Davis also stated, "I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now." But with his recent call-out, Davis's stance seems to have shifted, leaving fans wondering if a potential fight between the two could become a reality, especially if the financial stakes are high enough to make Davis reconsider his position.
How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown.
Would you look at it as a joke if if your team was like, yo, we want you to fight Jake Paul? Would you be like, come on, man?
I laugh at him. Like, you want me to fight him?
You think it'll ever come to the point where you're going to mix into, I mean, you're obviously doing the real shit, but will it ever mix into the point where the money's big enough
Yeah,
for
would you ever
to
do a
take-
fight like that?
I feel as though in my career I can't do that right now.
Jake Paul has made it clear that he's open to fighting Gervonta Davis, saying he would be super down for the matchup. Paul, who has been targeting high-profile opponents, appears confident in his chances against the smaller yet highly skilled Davis. While fans debate whether the fight makes sense, Paul's team has stepped in to clarify their stance, asserting that it's not Jake who needs this fight, it's Davis. According to them, despite Davis's elite boxing status, a fight with Paul would bring him more mainstream attention and financial gain than any other bout he could book on his own. This statement has stirred controversy, with Davis's supporters arguing that the undefeated champion doesn't need Paul to stay relevant. However, there's no denying the kind of buzz a fight with Paul could generate. Paul has consistently drawn massive pay-per-view numbers and cultivated a fan base that extends beyond traditional boxing audiences. Now, with both sides acknowledging the potential fight, the question remains whether negotiations will actually move forward. Davis, who initially dismissed Paul as a clown, has now called him out, making the possibility of the fight feel more real than ever. Fans are eagerly waiting to see if this will turn into a blockbuster showdown.
Now, you called out Canelo in the ring. Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super, super down. I don't know if
Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
is there a height limit in boxing?
Tank Davis has been vocal about his views on fighters accepting lucrative offers to compete in Saudi Arabia, suggesting that such decisions equate to selling their souls. He has expressed concerns over the growing trend of high-profile boxing matches being hosted in the Middle East, implying that financial incentives are overshadowing the sport's integrity. However, Davis's perspective is not without controversy. Critics argue that boxing has always been closely tied to financial considerations and that opportunities in emerging markets, like Saudi Arabia, could elevate the sport's global profile. These critics believe that the sport's expansion into new markets could help secure its future. Davis's comments contribute to an ongoing debate about the balance between financial incentives and the preservation of boxing's core values. In summary, Davis's assertion that fighters accepting offers from regions like Saudi Arabia are selling their souls reflects his concern about the sport's direction. His cautious approach to such opportunities signals a commitment to maintaining boxing's integrity, even when faced with substantial financial rewards.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Where do you think you'd be without Calvin? Thanks. Life in general.
I'm from the inner city. I was outside. You know what I mean? that answer your question. I don't want to say I was like, you know.
Yeah,
but,
listen.
You know.
How do you feel about the state of American boxing? Do you feel like you're keeping it afloat since Canelo's doing 3 out of 4 fights in Saudi Arabia?
He fighting over there?
3 out of the 4, yeah.
He got a fight over there?
Yeah, 3 to 4.
I thought they be having fights here too.
Well, he's going on fights here, but Canelo is
he got a fight over there.
He got a fight over there. Then he comes back with Crawford and then 2 next year over there.
So he fighting Crawford here?
Yeah.
So
that's not bad.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, they've been saying like I don't want what's the name, but they've been saying like they've been getting messed up over there, bro. Like everything is different. Like it's been sick, and not only one fighter. Like it's been numerous fighters that have been getting sick over there. So I don't know, bro. And you see how the guy was. He looked at the scorecard.
Turkey hopped up and beat the score.
But when I said it, it was like. The way how he was talking, he was like, yeah, Devin, my man, like, you know what I mean? We want to get Tank over here and fight. Man, I already know what y'all gonna do. Like,
Jake Paul was defending you. He put a tweet saying, like, this is what Tank was talking about.
See? But every time I say something, it's like I'm hating because I'm going against the grain. Like, I mean, not even going against the grain, I'm letting you know?
So to that point, do you feel like a responsibility to the sport in America? I know you think about retirement, but it's like things are going rough in the States. Everything's going over there.
Yeah, but it's like people selling that stuff. Like, you know, even the picture where everybody was in the room. That shit look like some devil shit.
Some cult, right?
Yeah.
Fans are now calling out Gervonta Tank Davis for hypocrisy after he previously criticized fighters for selling their souls by accepting lucrative offers, but is now considering a fight with Jake Paul. A Twitter user, Edwin, summed up the backlash with a tweet. Jake Paul? Yeah. Tank was ready to sell his soul. Many believe that Davis, who once dismissed Paul as a clown, is now chasing the same financial opportunities he once criticized others for pursuing. This shift has sparked a debate, with some defending Davis as simply making a smart business move, while others argue he's contradicting his past statements. Jake Paul has also weighed in on Davis's performance against Lamont Roach, offering both praise and criticism. While Paul admitted that it was a really good fight, he pointed out that Davis needed to create more action, claiming the bout felt more like a sparring session. Paul also stated that this wasn't the Gervonta Davis he knew, showing clear disappointment in the performance. His comments suggest that he expected a more dominant and aggressive showing from Davis. With the ongoing back and forth between the two, Paul's reaction only adds more fuel to their potential rivalry, leaving fans wondering if Davis will respond with a stronger performance in his next fight.
Man, he got lucky as a draw. He did a good fight, though. I thought he won it, but man, he gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my God.
But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
Tank Davis initially had a strong dislike for how Jake Paul entered the boxing world. He felt that Paul was making a mockery of the sport by calling out opponents in a way that seemed more like a publicity stunt than a serious challenge. Davis saw Paul as a clown, someone who was using boxing as an entertainment platform rather than respecting it as a legitimate craft. This viewpoint was widely shared by traditional boxing fans, who viewed Paul's rise in the sport as little more than a spectacle. However, Davis's opinion has evolved somewhat. While he still considers Paul a clown in terms of his personality and the way he markets himself, he has started to respect Paul's commitment to the sport. Davis now acknowledges that Paul is putting in real work in the gym and genuinely trying to improve as a boxer, rather than just chasing hype. This shift in perspective suggests that Davis sees potential in Paul, at least in the sense that he is dedicated to training and taking the sport more seriously than he initially gave him credit for.
What do you think about the Logan Pauls, the Jake Pauls, and the other guys, like Ochocinco, fighting and what they bring to the world of boxing? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing for boxing?
You know, I feel as though at first I didn't like how Jake Paul was coming in.
Why is that?
Because of how he was making it look like he'll call out somebody else that's like. But now that I see that I feel as though he's still a clown because that's his personality. He's still a clown.
That's how he gets paid. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
But far as him like in the gym, I feel like I'm starting to respect it because he's not doing it like for the hype. He was really like trying to be a boxer.
Okay, but real talk, if he actually faces a real boxer, which we haven't seen yet, you're shaking your head. But real talk for you, Tank. If he gets his ass in the ring with a real boxer, what's going to happen?
I mean, if they pick his fight right, I think that he's decent.
Yeah,
like he's good. I mean, he's not good, but he's going that way. If he continue to do like stay in the gym, like you say, like you get up in the morning, like he's a boxer. You know what I mean? He's in the gym, so.
Is he better than you thought he'd be?
Yeah.
Despite his respect for Jake Paul's work ethic and growing skill, Davis remains skeptical about Paul's true boxing ability. He believes Paul has yet to face a real boxer and suggests that his success so far heavily depends on how carefully his opponents are selected. Davis implies that if Paul continues to fight against the right opponents, he can maintain some level of success. However, when it comes to facing a high-level boxer, Davis seems to doubt that Paul would hold up. This perspective underscores the ongoing debate about Paul's legitimacy in boxing. While Davis acknowledges that Paul is improving, he stops short of calling him good, instead noting that Paul is on the right path if he continues to train seriously. Davis's recent call-out of Jake Paul appears to be influenced by the growing excitement around Paul's upcoming fight with Mike Tyson, which is set to stream on Netflix. The event has generated massive buzz, reflecting how boxing is evolving into a mix of sports and entertainment, with streaming platforms like Netflix investing in high-profile fights. Davis may see an opportunity to tap into a broader audience and financial gain by engaging in a fight with Paul. Paul's ability to attract mainstream attention has reshaped boxing's business model, and Davis's call-out suggests he recognizes the shifting landscape of the sport. By stepping into that spotlight, Davis may see the potential benefits of aligning himself with the growing intersection of sports and entertainment.
Netflix, I'm trying to watch it on my computer, TV. Like, I'm doing everything for the Tyson fight. And y'all knew, Netflix, you knew that there was going to be a lot of people on your platform watching this. That's what you promoted. That's what you wanted. And you failed not only people in America, all over the world that wanted to see this fight. Like, I'm going to bed now. It's like, not even worth it. The women, I don't even know if they're on fight right now because I don't even know where they're at. But this is ridiculous, Netflix. Y'all owe everybody a bunch of money. Not only the fighters, the subscribers.
Jake Paul's impact on boxing extends far beyond his performances in the ring. He has mastered the art of promotion, using his social media influence and business acumen to create massive opportunities, not just for himself, but for other fighters as well. Unlike traditional boxers who rely on promoters and networks, Paul has built his own platform, creating events that attract global attention. One of his biggest strengths is his ability to engage audiences outside of boxing's usual fan base. By leveraging social media, collaborating with major brands, and securing deals with platforms like Netflix, Paul has redefined how fights are marketed and consumed. His upcoming bout with Mike Tyson, set to stream on Netflix, is a prime example of how he's changing the game by bringing boxing to a mainstream audience like never before. Even veteran boxers and industry insiders have acknowledged Paul's ability to fill arenas and generate financial success. While some purists may dismiss him as a social media star, his business moves are undeniable. Whether fans love him or hate him, Paul's influence on boxing is undeniable. He has transformed the sport's promotional landscape, proving that storytelling, hype, and accessibility are just as important as skill inside the ring.
Jake Paul is unequivocally the most successful fighter in history 4 years in. No one comes close. No one. You couldn't list one that comes close, including Brock Lesnar if you include his WWE career. 4 years in terms of what he's done in terms of box office, pay-per-view, impact, helping other boxers, because he had platform, he had awareness, and he's got the focus and discipline to drive with it.
Gervonta Davis previously stated that he planned to retire by the end of the year, citing boredom with boxing as the main reason. However, his recent callouts of multiple fighters, including Jake Paul, have left fans questioning his true intentions. If he genuinely plans to step away, why is he actively seeking new fights? Some believe Davis may be reconsidering his retirement, while others think he's trying to secure big money bouts before leaving the sport. His mixed signals have sparked debates about whether he's truly losing passion for boxing or if he's simply positioning himself for high-profile matchups that could help redefine his career before walking away. The uncertainty around Davis's future has added intrigue to his recent actions, with fans and analysts wondering whether he's genuinely ready to retire or just setting up a final chapter with the right opportunities.
Gervonta Davis is not a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter right now. He's arguably not even in the top 10 pound-for-pound right now. Despite how cool this picture is, it does not get him into the pound-for-pound list. Even though we could say that he could probably beat everyone in the lightweight division, even though I think he loses to Shakur, he hasn't done it, and he probably isn't going to do it. But what would it take for him to get to the #1 pound-for-pound spot? Let's go over what he would have to do to reach #1. Well, first off, he'd obviously have to go undisputed in the lightweight division. And even though that would be great, I think that only cracks him like #4. Because the only one in the top 10 pound-for-pound in the lightweight division is maybe Shakur. But realistically, he's going to have to do more than just go undisputed in the lightweight division. So obviously, he'd have to go up to 140 because there's no way he's making 130. And then he'd have to beat a dude like Teofimo, and he'd probably have to beat Devin Haney as well. And I think that could probably get him the #1 spot. But yeah, we can sit here and say Tank is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters right now, which I think he's one of the most talented, and I think he could do most of what I said. However, hypotheticals aren't going to work with pound-for-pound listing.
Gervonta Davis's call-out of Jake Paul has left many fans confused, especially after he previously announced plans to retire. Twitter user Tate reacted by tweeting, "Thought he was retiring," echoing the sentiments of many who questioned Davis's true intentions. If Davis was serious about leaving the sport, why is he now chasing fights? Some believe he's simply looking for a lucrative payday before stepping away, while others think he may not be ready to retire after all. Davis's mixed messages have sparked debate, with fans wondering whether this call-out is genuine interest or just a strategic move for attention. Jake Paul reacted calmly to Davis's remarks, showing respect for his abilities. "He's a great fighter, and he surprised me a couple of times," Paul admitted, highlighting Davis's skill in the ring. His composed response suggests that, despite their differences in personality and approach, Paul recognizes Davis's boxing talent and the respect he deserves as a fighter.
On Tank Davis. Man, he's a great fighter. He's a great fighter. He's surprised me a couple of times. We've had some word exchanges.
Yes.
But it's all for fun. I hope this fight with Ryan Garcia happens.
Who you leaning on?
It's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion. You know, Gervonta hasn't shown the ability to win a lot of rounds against taller fighters. And then he relies on the knockout in the later rounds, which has worked for him. But if Ryan could avoid that, I think it'll be his power and speed will be and range will be a problem for Gervonta. But if Ryan gets caught, we see what Luke Campbell did.
Yeah.
And Gervonta is obviously a way bigger puncher than Luke. So it's really, in my eyes, the fight could go either way.
Heavyweight champion Tyson Fury weighed in on the Paul Davis debate, recognizing Gervonta, Tank, Davis as the better boxer, but also applauding Jake Paul's promotional skills. Fury acknowledged Paul's ability to generate massive attention for his fights, stating that while Davis has elite talent, Paul's business acumen is reshaping how boxing reaches mainstream audiences. Fury's comments highlight the growing divide in boxing, where skill inside the ring and promotional prowess outside of it are increasingly seen as equally important in shaping the sport's future.
A layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down. You know what I mean?
Surprisingly, Gervonta, Tank, Davis isn't ranked among the top 10 pound-for-pound lightweight fighters, which has caught many fans off guard. This has sparked debates about his true position in the sport and whether facing Jake Paul would elevate his career or simply serve as a spectacle. Some see it as an opportunity for Davis to reach a broader audience and secure a high-profile payday, while others view it as a distraction from more meaningful fights within his division. With Davis's recent mixed signals about retirement, some are left wondering if he's truly committed to boxing or if he's simply done with the sport, seeking big money fights before walking away.
Tank is just done with boxing. He does not enjoy it anymore. It's very clear that he just does not want to box anymore, and that's okay. He went into more detail about why he wants to retire after 2025, and it basically just comes down to he's tired of fighting. He's tired of getting punched in the face. He's not worried about his legacy. He said that he has his legacy in his city, and that's all he's worried about. He did also say that he wants to go to therapy, and he feels like if he goes to therapy now while he's boxing, he won't have that same fire inside of him, and he won't even be able to mentally get prepared for a fight. He also brought up his kids a lot, says he wants to be a lot softer for his daughters. He's got his son now, so he wants to be there for his son and be a good dad and not be getting beat up in the gym all the time. So honestly, I gotta respect it. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just worry about people's mental when they're at their lowest. You know, why do we have to see Tank lose to worry about his mental? Because Sonny Edwards just retired because of his mental. But he was at his lowest. So I don't think we have to see Tank get there to care about his mental. So if he wants to go and he wants to get his last 2-3 fights in, okay, great. Do that. And then go take care of yourself. Because he is young. And I think it's becoming more of a trend to retire when you're like 30, 31. Because Sonny Edwards, 28. Gervonta is going to retire at like 31, 32. And then even Jesse Bam Rodriguez says by the time he's 30, he doesn't really want to be in the sport anymore. But I think this does have a lot to do with them getting into the sport so young. When you're doing it from like the age of 12 or even sometimes younger for Tank, I believe he was younger. So when you've been doing it for that long, getting beat up for that long, I mean, it takes a toll on you. You just don't want to do it anymore. So I got to respect it.